Hello and welcome to my channel. In today's video, it's all about texture and pumpkins and fall, and we're going to start with this sweet little textured painting of a pumpkin. I'm drawing my pumpkin on a 4x4 piece of watercolor paper, and I start by drawing 3 little lines to serve as my guide. The first thing I'm going to draw is an oval in the center, and then I'm going to fill out the pumpkin by creating these little, almost like a C shape, the letter C, all around my pumpkin. I'm also going to add 2 little lines up at the top to serve as my guide for my stem. When I draw that, I'm going to make sure that it's wider at the bottom and becomes thinner at the top. Once my pumpkin is drawn, I'm then going to use an eraser and just soften the lines so that they're not so harsh, but it still gives me a guide. I'm using burnt sienna, yellow ochre, burnt umber, Payne's gray, and I have black on there. I didn't use it, but I did use white, and I'm going to spritz my paint just to keep it moist. The first thing that I want to do is paint my pumpkin out with water. This is a wet on wet painting technique that we usually associate with watercolor, but it works with acrylics too. And by the way, all of my acrylic paints are heavy bodied. With a lot of water on my brush, I am picking up the burnt sienna and dropping it into the water on the paper. I love how this technique just let the paint naturally just spread, and it's just such a beautiful look. I love the wet on wet technique for this. So I'm going to cover the entire pumpkin with this burnt sienna, and then I'll move on to the next color. I'm filling in the entire pumpkin, and it can be darker or lighter in some places. It really doesn't matter. Next, I want to pay attention to the lines that I drew in the pumpkin, and so I've mixed some of the Payne's gray with some white, and I'm just dropping it in again with a really wet brush, just kind of randomly over those lines and edging my pumpkin just to give it a little shadow. Next, I'm going to drop in some burnt umber, and I'm just going along those lines. It just adds some interest and some contrast to those areas on the pumpkin. Next, I'm just going to go ahead and just paint the first base color of my stem, and I'm doing that also with the burnt umber. Once my veins are done, this next step is I'm going to use some drawing gum, or it's really called masking fluid, and to apply it I'm using a drawing pen. It has a little well in it that holds the fluid and allows me to apply it just to those veining areas, and I'm going in just a squiggly motion so that I can protect those areas of the veins that I created on the pumpkin. The masking fluid will allow me to protect any areas that I don't want covered with the next step. Masking fluid will apply cloudy and dry completely clear. For this next step, I'm using 2 small palette knives, one with a tip and one with a rounded edge. And I'm going to mix up some of the burnt sienna with white. And I want to make sure that I'm only using a small portion of my palette knife when I pick up the paint. And I'm going to just scrape it over my entire pumpkin. You'll notice that I am going over the masking fluid lines. And it's okay because that masking fluid is going to be protected, and we'll be able to expose it again in the next step. I'm going to mix even more white into that mixture, and then once again I'm going to apply that with my palette knife. We're creating a gradient of color, and it just adds a lot of interest to the pumpkin and lots of texture, which I love. I got a little oops here on my paper in the corner, but no worries, we're going to take care of that later. I continued to apply the paint with my palette knife to the areas of the pumpkin, and I added more white, and that just gave us a third value of that color applying, and I really love the highlights that this provides. I think it's really pretty. Once my pumpkin was filled in, I then went on to add a little bit of that color with the tip of my knife to the stem. To me, this is where the magic starts to happen. My paint is still wet, but I'm using a really sharp tip stylus. A round stylus probably would have been better, but I'm using that to pull the masking tape. I lift it and then with my fingers, I pull it, and you can see where that beautiful veining is now exposed. There's no paint on top of it. It's just right there. But when it's all pulled, it's a little stark. And so what I do is I just add a lot of water to my brush and I pick up that lightest color and I soften it with that paint with kind of a wash of that color. And I really love how it softens those lines and it begins to pull everything together. Once all the masking is removed, I'm going to very carefully with the rounded tipped palette knife just add a little bit more texture to this. I'm not going as heavily as I did before, but I really love the layers that we can build. And I'm going to even add a little bit to my stem, and I'm going to add some of the other colors to my stem, and it just helps everything come together. Here I'm adding a little bit of my Payne's gray and white on top of the brown and all of that. And now we're going to add some splatter. I already had some of the burnt umber mixed up, and I just mixed that with a lot of water, put it in a wet brush, and I hit it with another brush to create some splatter. I did have some oops. I can pick those up with a dry brush and also a baby wipe. My final step was to add some highlights, and I'm doing this with really just some white and my palette knife. I love how this just changes the look of this pumpkin, and now we are complete. Remember that oops? I heard that you can actually remove those with a magic eraser. And so I cut off a little corner of one and added some water to it and rubbed it, and I was amazed it actually worked. It did also remove some of the pulp, and so just to reinforce that area, I added some clear gesso. I let that dry, and then I took a little bit of my yellow ochre, a lot of water, and a baby wipe, and created a little wash as a background to my piece. It's always such a great feeling when you can salvage an oops on a project, so I removed my tape and proceeded on to the next step. So there were a couple of blops, and I filled those in with white, and it was ready to go. I had this little frame that was a 5x5, and I decided to mount my little piece of artwork onto this. I went ahead and just used the cardboard. I used my paper cutter to kind of score the lines and then use my scissors to cut it out. And then I thought about, well, what would the background look like? And so I took this acrylic paint in Rich Espresso, it's a metallic, and coated the back of it. I then used some double-sided tape to mount my little pumpkin to that background, and then I put it in the frame. I wanted to add a little metallic to this, and so I added the Rich Espresso, and then I also had some worn penny metallic paint, which is kind of like a copper. And I used that and laid my brush kind of flat so that I could just hit the highlights of that rope molding with that. I then forgot to seal it, so I went ahead and got out my varnish, sealed it, put it back in the frame, and there you go. It's such a fun and easy project, and I hope you enjoyed it too. And so the next project that we're going to do are these textured pumpkins. I thought, I've already got my paint mixed up, let's give it a go. And so I took these white plastic pumpkins, and the first thing that I wanted to do was give it some tooth and some texture. So I'm using a fiber paste by Golden, and I coated the whole thing and let that dry. Then using basically the same techniques that we did with the painted pumpkin on paper, I am adding a lot of water, and I'm starting with that burnt sienna, and I'm going in all the veins of these pumpkins. I did 3 pumpkins, and I used a different color in each of the veins, but I started out with this burnt sienna color. I made sure to get the bottom. I really enjoyed that fiber paste because it really does, it creates a porous texture for that paint to just kind of do its thing, right? And so for this one, you're going to see me go in between the stages with the different pumpkins, but For this one, I did add a new color to my palette. I added a sap green and I mixed it with my yellow ochre to create kind of an olive shade. Once that was dry, I went in with a mixture of the burnt sienna and the white, and I painted over the raised areas of the pumpkin. I was paying pretty careful attention not to go too far over the veins that I created with the olive paint. And then I added a little more white and I painted those in. I did this for every single pumpkin, just with a different color veining. And that way I felt that each would be unique, but they would all still kind of make sense, kind of a little series of pumpkins. For this one particular pumpkin, I used that Payne's gray with a little bit of white, and I added that. This one actually, I learned that it was much easier to use a little spray bottle, so I would brush on some of the paint in the veining of the pumpkin, spray it, and it would really spread out in that fiber paste. I love the look, but I've got to tell you, I was a little scared, but it all works out. So on this one, the veining was done in the burnt umber. So all the veining was different, but the end color was the same, which I felt kind of made them all go together kind of as a series or a set of three. So once that was all done, all the veining was done, it was dry, I went in and I just added a little more color wherever I thought it needed, and then I was ready for the next step. I know so many of you agree with me that there can never be enough texture, so I went ahead and added more of the fiber paste to each of the pumpkins, and then I used that light color burnt sienna with white to coat all of the pumpkins and then remove a little bit of the excess with a baby white. Once that was done, I decided to coat the stems of each of the pumpkins with that rich espresso metallic acrylic paint, and I also dry brushed it over all of the pumpkins. Since more is more, I added a little worn penny metallic acrylic paint to the stems and also dry brushed that. I really loved the look of that. And then I went ahead and just continued to dry brush. I'm using a fan brush. To seal them, I used Posh Chalk's glass plaster. I thought that would be such a fun look for these, and I don't regret using it. I love the texture in these pumpkins. I am so excited to display them in our home. I really hope you enjoyed this project and that you will be inspired to try it yourself. Thank you so much for joining me. Please don't forget to comment and subscribe. Happy creating.